On Saturday, we left the dry region surrounding Alta Lake and headed west towards the Olympic Peninsula. We arrived at camp at Scenic Beach to find the large towering trees draped in vibrant green moss. Everything was crisp and covered in a thin mist. It was a bit different to experience humidity after being in the drier areas for the past few weeks. Unlike our time we spent in Montana and Wyoming and even Colorado, I booked us in campgrounds rather than dispersed camping, partly because Washington is a new area for us, and as such, I didn't want to be too stressed out about finding a good campsite. What I would describe as a good campsite has changed so much over the past year. Previously, we hiked in as deep as possible to afford us solitude. Rarely would we seek out areas that were densely populated, as camping was our escape from busy, stressful jobs. While Drew still has one of those jobs, I'm just working part-time with data, so it's a big change from my previous. Nowadays, a good campsite is one that has a clear sky, good strong cell service, and at the very least, a clear open sky to the north for Starlink, followed by a good safe place to walk Ella. While I still seek out areas that are removed from the large percentage of the population, it is a delicate balance between being in a remote area and accessing necessary items to work and live. And unfortunately, sometimes the scales tip one direction or the other. We have been known to stay one night in a location and then move to another location the following morning. To date, the most moves in a short time frame is 3 in 3 days. Scenic Beach State Campground was in the final few weeks of normal operation before moving to winter hours and services. So other than the first few nights, the campground was mostly empty, which made for a very quiet and pleasant experience. This was our first experience with the forest that is often associated with the Pacific Northwest, and I must say it did not disappoint. There's something about walking under these giant trees, adorned with moss, the way that light filters the canopy, and makes one feel like they're walking in a storybook. The almost daily rain was not a surprise, but what was a surprise is how much it didn't seem to bother any of us. We knew rain was a reality when we planned on visiting during the fall in the Pacific Northwest, and so far I have to say it has rained often and hard, but the things that surprised me the most is that if it's not raining, the sun tries to peek out and often is found shining. From here, we are headed west to the coast into the Olympic National Forest, where we are looking forward to more moss-covered trees and our first views of the Pacific Ocean.